Comrades and friends, our comrade Leslie Feinberg loved the Cuban Revolution. She had, as we say, the party line on socialist Cuba, that it is undeniably a glorious revolution, one that has made huge advances, not only for the Cuban people, but for the entire world. It is a shining example for the billions who yearn to be free from the shackles of capitalism and imperialism, because Cuba demonstrates that people can and will build a society that defends the interests of the workers and not Wall Street. Imagine a society that provides free education and health care, no police brutality, no deportations. But Leslie would want us not just to imagine it, but to build it. Those were her last words, in fact. Leslie Feinberg did much more than just love and defend the Cuban Revolution. She made a unique contribution to the revolution. She authored a very important book, Rainbow Solidarity in Defense of Cuba, a significant and history-making defense of the revolution. Furthermore, it was a concrete act of solidarity because U.S. imperialism, in its efforts to sabotage the revolution, took the LGBTQ question from day one and used it as a tool to undermine Cuba in complete hypocrisy and arrogance. Leslie had tremendous stature, not only in the queer movement, but among the pro-Palestinian and working class movement as well. So her writings and remarks on Cuba and the LGBTQ issue were heard far and wide on ears who may not have been on Cuba. They served to counter Washington's lies. There are no Islam Nettles murdered for being a Black trans woman in Cuba. There is no discrimination against gays in Cuba, in housing or on the jobs like here. Leslie helped to point out that in 50 years, the Cuban Revolution was able to make advances that had not been made in 200 years here. When the president of the National Assembly, Raúl Alarcón, said, "The essence of socialism is the inclusion rather than exclusion of people for their sexual orientation or religion," when the Cuban government created programs like Senesex, it was not empty phrases or Band-Aids. They were not calculated to win votes or to put a brake on the struggle. They were real, and they are meant to advance unity and socialism. You must read Leslie's writings on Cuba if you have not. In a very modest way, Leslie is part of Cuba's Senesex program because, like Senesex, Leslie broke revolutionary ground. I was very proud of her. One night there was something at the Cuban mission and several of the comrades came. It was a major event, I can't remember what. And Leslie was dressed sharp as usual. She had a beautiful suit. She looked awesome. And the Cubans asked me if they could introduce Leslie as a promoter, and she was one of maybe a handful of, like maybe 2 people that were asked to come to the floor and speak in defense of Cuba. And I was very proud of my comrades, not just Leslie, but I was proud of my Cuban comrades for knowing that they needed to single her out there. Leslie is an example. She dedicated her life to the struggle because she knew that only socialism will free us all. We will miss her generosity, her intelligence, her wit. It is capitalism that killed our sister, and for her and all the oppressed, we must abolish capitalism. Leslie Feinberg, presente.